Hello there, welcome back to the channel. Well, today we're going to talk about the trace command and how does it help us. Well, we're going to cover a few topics on troubleshooting. So this is the first one, and we're going to talk about trace in this one. Apart from this, we're going to talk about troubleshooting the network, troubleshooting the listeners, hardware as well, and so on. And today we're going to start with the trace command and the trace option to be more specific. With the trace option, you can actually go ahead and emulate sending off a message through the ESA, and that basically helps you understand how would the ESA perform on a certain message. So let's say there's a certain message you want to understand. How would the ESA behave with a certain email which has so and so as a sender, so and so as the recipient? How would it deal with the anti-spam engine and all the other things, right? So it basically helps you debug the flow of messages through the system by emulating sending a test message. It will print the summary of the features that would be triggered for such and such email, and also it's gonna show you the output for the uncommitted changes as well. So let's say there's a problem you face, and you make a change to go ahead and understand if that change really fixed the problem or not. But you don't want to commit it. Okay, you want to understand if that really fixed it before committing the changes. In such a case, you can run the trace command again because it will show you the output based on the current configuration as well as including the uncommitted changes as well. So it helps you a lot, right? So let's go ahead and run the trace command. The first thing we're going to do is hit enter with it by just typing trace. And the source IP from which you want to understand, hey, the email came from, let's say, 19.13.13.13. This was the sender. And then you mentioned the FQDN here, right? With the FQDN, it doesn't really reverse. It does not really attempt to reverse the FQDN to the IP address to understand if it really matches or not. So if you want to test out any scenario in which the DNS does not reverse match properly, Trace is not going to help you out in those cases. But you have to mention the FQDN. If you don't mention the FQDN, it's going to fill it up for you. So in this case, when I say test.tnv.com, right, it's really it's just really taking it without really verifying it. Okay, so if I just hit enter, it's not going to tell me, hey, what is this? What the hell is that? It doesn't even match. It does not reverse to that IP address and so on. So it's just going to take it. Okay. I just have one listener in this case, and therefore I just have to go for the enter. In case you have multiple listeners, you can select by typing one or two or three and so on. I hit enter. The domain, the domain name that has to be passed to EHLO. I want to go with tnv.com. If let's say you want to go for anything else, you can say cisco.com. For example, hit enter and that's it. Fetching default sender-based values, enter the sender-based network owner ID, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go with NA. The envelope sender, who do you want to be the envelope sender? I want to say Asan at cisco.com in this case, okay? Cisco.com. And let's say Abbas at tnv.com is fine. I just hit enter. Reuse the last message body. I would say no. Load message from the disk. Now, this is extremely important. Let's say you received an email and you made the changes after that to fix a certain problem on that email faced in the ESA. Now you made those changes. You want to see how that exact email behaves in the ESA now. In that case, you can just load the message directly from the disk. In that case, you need it to be in the configuration folder. I have shown that in a separate video, how to go ahead and upload files to there, to the configuration folder and so on. You can check that out. I'm going to put a link in the description for that as well. So not a problem. I'm going to say no in this case. I'm going to say, hey, hi, boss. How are you doing? I'm doing great. Now, it says enter dot on a blank line to end. As soon as I hit dot and hit enter, that's it. It's going to execute it's going to show you the output and print the details right here. You see all these details, right? Message filters, everything, literally, right? So if I go back to the top, where is it? Yeah, trace. 19 13 13 13. Enter the fully qualified domain name, blah blah blah. So I mentioned test.tnv.com and I gave it all the results. Now this is the output. uh, Processing hat listener, the other me, which I mentioned. FQDN for this, it's not changed, although that is not correct, right? 19 for 19.13.13.13 or for 1.1.1.1 as well. That is not the correct, FQDN, right? Test.tnu.com. It doesn't care, right? And that's why you cannot test these things with the trace command. So matched on the unknown list, and it's the accepted policy that it came on. So far you're looking good. The changes you made have actually got a positive impact on that email, so you're good, right? Just saying, just follow along with the analog. Anyways, the policy parameters, this is going to be the message size, and these are all the things that you have in there. Everything looking good. So message filters are enabled for this, and everything else, you can check what's enabled and what is disabled. Apart from this, you can also check that rat matched on this. Okay, so the behavior is accept. Good. SPF verification not enabled. DMARC not enabled. SDR not enabled. Okay, what do we have? Apart from this, we have the message filters. The message filters were skipped. Most of them were skipped. The reason is because they're inactive. So from this output, you can also understand, oh, okay, so the message filters did not cause any problems because they were inactive anyways. So we're good with that as well. We can just scroll down. This message filter is invalid. There's a problem with that one. I think it's older than, there was some SDR change made in the newer OS. Um, Anyways, I need to check that out. Anyway, it's not a problem, right? You get to know all that information as well. The last uh, two message filters were executed. However, let's see what happened. So this message filter was executed. Its name is control campaigns. And the first rule that was checked was mail from equals to asan@cisco.com. Oh, that is true. Header repeats 10 times. No, that's a false, and therefore it was not executed. So it's false and false. Anyways, whatever that second condition was. So processing filter test. So the other filter was also processed. It was checked that the mail from is it empty? The result is false. Okay, this one was not executed as well. Deacon verification not enabled. Inbound policy, which one did it hit? Any. So in that, I've just mentioned any, and I've not used any conditions in there. Message to abbas@tnv.com. And we got a content filter in there without any conditions, and therefore the email would be sent to quarantine. Okay, it gives you all the information, the content filters, what happened there. Invalid. Okay. And the domain key signing is not enabled. DKIM signing, blah, blah, blah. Now, do you want to see the resulting message, how it looks here? You just hit enter if you want to see the message. I hit enter, and this is what it shows me. The final message looks like this. And the problem was right here, XR import quarantine, right? And this was the message. You want to run through another debug session? Yes or no? Well, no, I don't want to run through another debug session. I can just hit enter also. If you take a look at the user guide as well, you'll get to know a couple more things. That's what I would recommend because I don't go through each and everything that you get from the guide or anything, right? If you go through the guide, you'll find more information on the theory as well. For example, there's one important thing that actually that trace is not effective for testing file reputation scanning. You cannot, deal with file reputation scanning when it comes to trace. Trace is not going to help you out with that. And for further details, if you are someone who reads a lot, then I would definitely recommend going through the user guide. Now I'm going to show you how it looks like from the GUI, and then we're going to wrap it up possibly. So let's go ahead to the GUI. So here I am. This is me. There's nowhere else on earth I'd rather be. Okay. I just enter the password. I'm going to get inside the ESN, show you that option right away. It's tnv@cisco.com, login host. We're on 14.2. I need to check my ESA for performance issues because it's kind of slow. I need to check it out. I need to check out what's really going on with my ESA. Anyways, I'm gonna make a separate video for that, for when I troubleshoot my ESA. So if I go to system administration and then the second option I see is trace, I click on trace. And these are the options I see, right? If left blank, a reverse DNS lookup will be performed on the source IP. So as I said, this is an important field. Even if you let it be, it's going to fill it up for you, right? So the source IP address, you can just mention the source IP address. Let's say this, and I don't mention anything. Even if you see, you'll find that even if it's not able to do the reverse DNS lookup, it's gonna give you something, right? So the other me, that's the I'm gonna check the trace behavior on so and so listener. It tells you what are the fields that are actually optional, right? So you can just let it be. If you want to, so here with this sender-based network owner ID, look up network owner ID associated with the source IP, or you can just mention what you want it to use. Anyways, the envelope sender is going to be son at tnv dot schmear, and envelope recipients bus at tnv dot lalbazar. Who cares? I don't care. I'm just testing it out. Okay, upload message body if you want to do the same thing that I mentioned there, right? Or you can paste the message body here. So you can say, hi, Abbas, of the network, Viking here. Bye. Yeah, doesn't matter. So start the trace. I click on start the trace and it's going to do its thing, right? The same thing, it's going to give you the results right here. And yeah, FQDN, as I said, right, 1.1.1.1, it has to fill it up. So when you want to test FQDN related stuff, trace is not the command. Trace is not the tool, to be more specific, that you should use. Um, yeah, to get it fixed. Named policy accepted, and the behavior is accept. So for those of you who don't like the CLI GUI, looks beautiful as well. It's not a problem. SDR, center-based reputation score, which is SBRS, which is 2.5. It gives you this information based on the mailflow policy, and it also tells you which of the features are actually enabled right here. And then it gives you other information as well. Envelope sender processing, no change with this. And the rat, it tells you the behavior right here. The behavior is reject in this case because tnv.lolbazaar is not mentioned in the rat table, and therefore you see this. So it was not even accepted. So there was no processing done. You don't see other information. That is the reason. That's because it was rejected right here. So there are different ways you can test it out. It's really helpful in that case. Anyways, I'm going to put a link in the description for the user guide, and I welcome if you have any questions. Although I don't see a lot of people asking any questions, I don't see much comments on the channel, anyways. But if you have anything, just put it down in the. If you don't have any questions, just let me know if you enjoyed the video or not, at least, or tell me if my content has helped you or anything, for that matter. Yeah, because I don't see any comments at all. So I don't know. Whoever's viewing the videos, I need to put something in there so that I understand if people are really, really watching this stuff. How am I getting these views, anyways? So yeah, I think this is it for today with the trace command. I'm going to show you other information as well. I'm going to talk about, as I said, troubleshooting the hardware, troubleshooting the network, the listener, mail flow, if the emails are stuck in the delivery queue, and all that kind of stuff, what you need to do. So for those of you who are new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe and help me out by doing that. Also, I would recommend and ask you to go ahead and please share it with others as well, and so that it reaches a wider audience. And put in some comments. No matter if you have, if it's not a question, it's okay. I still I won't have a problem with you just typing any comment in there, right? So that I understand at least you guys are watching. What's really going on? I don't know. Yeah. So whatever. Thank you. You guys have a great day. Goodbye.